Hi guys, 18dap here and welcome to this video, one that I didn't expect to be making. We are welcoming Premier League opposition in the shape of Everton to the EcoPower Stadium tomorrow evening for the Carabao Cup Second Round. This is a preview, let's get into it. So guys, welcome to this match preview, Carabao Cup Second Round football at the EcoPower Stadium, and it's an exciting one for us Rovers fans. We are welcoming, as I said in the intro, Premier League opposition in the shape of Everton. So it's going to be a very, very tough game. If you're an existing subscriber, thank you so much for sticking with the channel down in the depths of League Two. If this video has brought you to the channel and you're a fan of Everton and you like lower league football, please consider clicking subscribe if you do enjoy the content. Plenty coming up this season. If you are new, this is the format that we go through match previews. There's a slight difference to this one with it being the Carabao Cup. So I go through previous meetings between the two clubs, current form across all competitions, and a little addition for this one is cup pedigree. So we have a look back at a few seasons and see where our both clubs have come in the Carabao Cup. I choose a Doncaster Rovers player just to say a few words about. I choose the opponent's one to watch, but as I always say, you know your club much better than what I do. So if you don't think that that individual should be the one to watch, get the person in the comments down below. Obviously, Premier League football is something that I don't know too much about, being a Rovers fan. And then I give a predicted team lineup thanks to FanHub, and then my all-important score prediction at the very end to round it off. So without further ado, let's get into this match preview. Previous meetings between the two clubs, I've never ever seen Doncaster play Everton in my lifetime. We have played each other 8 times, with Rovers winning 2 occasions. We've shared the spoils on 2, and Everton got the edge in this one with 4 wins out of the 8. But we always look at the last 5 or the more recent 5 fixtures between the two clubs, and we have to go back a very, very long way to the 1952-53 season in the old Division 2, and we got an absolute battering away from home. It was 7-1 in that one, but a much better showing in the home fixture with a 3-0 win. I'd love that tomorrow evening. Get a win over Premier League opposition and catapult our season, kickstart our season a little bit. But then we go to the 1953-54 season, again in Division 2, and our away form is not very good. It was a 4-1 defeat, but again, better showing at home with a 2-2 draw. So hopefully this theme continues, because our most recent fixture between the two clubs was in 1985, once again before my lifetime even started, in the FA Cup though, not in the league, and that was at Goodison, and it was a 2-0 defeat. So maybe it's positive that the draw was at the EcoPower Stadium rather than at Goodison. I'd have sooner had a trip to Goodison before that ground sadly leaves us and Everton move into their brand spanking new shiny stadium, which looks absolutely stunning. But yeah, based on our more recent 5 fixtures, I say more recent, very long time ago, away form not great, home form a little bit better, so hopefully that omen can come into tomorrow night's Carabao Cup fixture. Current form though, it's not good reading for either set of fans. We look at Doncaster, 1 win in our last 5. We're coming into this one on the back of a defeat, a draw and 2 defeats. Everton on the other hand, 2 wins in their last 2 pre-season friendlies, and coming into this one on the back of 3 straight defeats. So yeah, 2 fan bases that are desperate for a win in this one. As I say, our last win came 5 games ago, and it was in this competition at Hull City, a very good performance and a good result, which ended up rewarding us with this great tie for our club. League form is absolutely dreadful at the moment. There's no sugarcoating it. So our poor league form has led to us holding up the entire EFL. We are currently 24th in League 2. We currently have the 2nd worst defence out of the whole 92. We've conceded 12 goals in 5 games and we've only scored 4. So problems at both ends of the pitch for us Rovers fans at the minute. Wrexham have the worst, conceding 14 in their 5 games, but they've scored just as many. So yeah, they've got something more to shout about than us Rovers fans. This game, it could be a welcome break from the league though. A very tough start to our campaign. As I say, we sat rock bottom of League 2, and games like this could just kind of galvanise a squad, give them a bit of confidence going into Swindon on Saturday, and hopefully, like I say, kickstart our league campaign. For me though, this one tomorrow, I just want us to be competitive. I don't want to see us get blown away, because that could just have the complete opposite impact to what we're hoping this game does. If we get absolutely battered, it'll knock confidence and it could seep into the league form even more. So I just want us to be competitive, show what we can do as a club and as a squad. And you never know, it's a cup game, it's a one-off tie. Let's see where it takes us. But yeah, minimum expectation for me is for us to be competitive. If we get beaten by the better team on the night, so be it. Moving on to Everton, so like I said, Everton won their last two friendlies 1-0 at Stoke and then at home to Sporting, and that set them up to start the campaign hopefully positively. But it started with 3 defeats, and that sees Everton in a similar position in their league as to what Doncaster are in League Two, rock bottom, holding up the rest of the league. So it's not set up to be an absolute classic, is it? They were blown away by Villa in the second game 4-0, but I think Evertonians will argue that they deserve more from the narrow defeats at both Fulham, at home to Fulham and Wolves, where they had plenty of shots. The stats show that, but they've just not been able to put those chances away. I think for Evertonians, this one it's a good opportunity for you guys to potentially take a big win and take that into the league and hopefully start winning games and pull your sends out of the bottom 3 of the Premier League. But like I say, from a Rovers point of view, I just hope we're competitive and we don't get blown away. On to cup pedigree, so this is a slight addition to the match preview. So looking at Doncaster in the Carabao Cup, our best finish was the quarter-finals in the 05-06 season where we got knocked out by Arsenal, and that still hurts. Added time, in extra time, Gilberto, horrible, takes me back to a very bad day. I think we should have been in the semi-finals that day, but yeah, it was great. It was a great kind of cup run for Doncaster, put us on the map a little bit at that time as well. But move forward into our last 6 seasons in the competition, and it's not great reading for Rovers fans. As you can see there, a lot of first and second rounds. Our best finish in the Carabao Cup over the last 6 seasons is a third round where we got knocked out again by Arsenal. But since then, second round against Blackpool, first round against Grimsby, first round against Blackburn, second round against Stoke, and first round last season against Lincoln. So it's not a competition that we're too fond of or too great on. So hopefully that changes this season. We get through to the third or fourth round and improve on the last 6 seasons' finishes. Moving on to Everton, their best finish was the final, unfortunately getting beaten 1-0 by their arch rivals, Liverpool, in the 83-84 season. So obviously it wasn't the Carabao Cup then, it was the League Cup. I'm not sure who sponsored it back then, but it was the same competition. Last 6 seasons they fared slightly better than what the Rovers have, but still for a club Everton's size, I think this is a competition that they should be looking to go as deep into as possible. But the last 6 seasons, we go back to the 17-18 season, it was 4th round against Chelsea, then 3rd round against Southampton. They got through to the quarterfinals 2 seasons running, knocked out by Leicester and then Man United. And then the last 2 seasons, 2 third round finishes against QPR and Bournemouth. So I think they'll be wanting to progress on a third round finish. And like I say, a club Everton size probably want to go to the latter stages. But I think initially the position that they're in, it's safety in the Premier League after flirting with it for a few seasons. But a cup run can sometimes positively impact the league form as well. Moving on to player profiles, so for this one I've gone with Luke Molyneux for the Rovers. He's a 25-year-old attacking midfielder, and for me, and I think a lot of fans at Doncaster, expectation was high for Luke when he arrived. Last season he scored 12 goals in League Two in a very poor Hartlepool team the season before, but it just didn't quite happen for him last season, and that's kind of continued into this season. Fairly underwhelming when it comes to Luke Molyneux, especially when there were League One teams after his signature as well when we got him. He scored a wonderful goal last Saturday at MK Dons. I'm just hoping that kind of ignites the potential that Luke has got. He has shown it in flashes and gives him the boost that I think he needs, and hopefully he can carry that on now and positively impact the team and get assists what we're expecting, decent goals that we saw at Hartlepool. Hopefully he can grab that now and run with it after a very good goal against MK Dons. It didn't get us any points unfortunately, but it did change the game when he come on. So hopefully it can, like I say, it can carry that into this game and on to Swindon and carry on this season, and hopefully we see the best out of Luke Molyneux that we expected last season. Moving on to the one to watch. So as I said at the start of the video, you Evertonians, if you're watching, obviously you know your club much better than what I do. So if you don't think this individual should be the one to watch tomorrow night, get the person in the comments down below, and it gives us a bit of information on Everton, on what player we need to be keeping an eye on. But for this one, I've gone with Demarai Gray. He's not been used in the squad this season yet, so I think this is a good opportunity for him to be given a chance to show what he can do and potentially stake a claim for a first team start when the league comes back around. Obviously, bags of experience at a higher level. 27 years old, left winger. I think he could have a lot of joy against our right hand side. Obviously, both our right backs are currently injured, so we're kind of makeshifting in that area. So it could have a lot of joy down that right hand side, or his left hand side. 342 appearances across his career, 38 goals, 32 assists. So for me, the one to watch tomorrow night, may be wrong, is Demarai Gray for Everton. So that takes me on to my predicted team lineup. I've already said that kind of our right hand side is a little bit makeshift, so I'm going with the following lineup. As I say, it's a predicted team lineup, it may change. Because I don't think I've got one right this season because we've had so many swaps and changes. But I'm going with Ian Lawler in goal, a back four of Senior, Oluwu, Long and Maxwell, a midfield five of Broadbent, Tommy Rowe, and then just in front of those, Satona on the right, Molyneux just behind the striker and Roberts on the left, with Ironside leading the line on his own. So that's what I'm going to go with. I think that's probably the strongest starting 11 at the minute. Obviously Adam Long not played yet, we've got Anderson and Wood, but I think they'll probably end up being rested for the league, so I think this is a good chance for him to come in, but I don't think there'll be that many changes from what we saw start against MK Dons, because we've not got that many players, lots and lots of injuries. So that's my predicted team lineup for the game tomorrow. And finally, that takes me on to my score prediction. So as I said earlier in the video, I just want to see us be competitive. I'm not expecting a win. Obviously, Premier League opposition, it doesn't really matter on what form they've got or what position they're in. They've got quality that can hurt a League Two team. There's no two ways about it. We've got to be on the top of our game to get anything out of this one, I think. As I say, irrespective of form and current position, Everton should be beating us. But it is a cup game. It is a one-off game. I think our lads will be massively up for it. We're on Sky. That's normally a bad omen for us. We normally don't show up. There'll be a big crowd. That's another bad omen. We don't normally show up when there's a big crowd. So I'm just hoping that we do show up and show Sky, show the people watching on Sky, show the fans that are coming down for this one-off game the potential that our squad have got. I honestly, I truly believe that Grant McCann can turn us around this season. It's going to take time. I think it's going to take a couple more transfer windows to really build a squad that he wants. But in this one-off game, I think the lads will be well up for it. I'm going with a narrow 2-1 win. We will see. There will be a matchday vlog tomorrow, but this is where I'm going to leave this one. If you've enjoyed it, please stick a big thumbs up on it. Comments in the section down below. As I said at the start of the video, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing so you don't miss any future content. As always, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.